One evening, Thomas and Percy were taking the mail train down all the tracks of Sodor. They worked hard, going from station to station, delivering letters and parcels all over the island. Later, Percy had finished, but Thomas still had some letters in his trucks. "See you back at Tidmouth," said Percy, and he puffed away. When Thomas finished, he set off back to the mail depot to shunt away his trucks. "It's rather late," he puffed. "I'll take a shortcut through the forest." Thomas chugged down the deep, dark forest woods. It looked a little spooky. Suddenly, Thomas heard a strange cry. "Fizzling for fireboxes!" cried Thomas. He shut his eyes tight and shot forward. Thomas didn't know the cry came from a fox. Thomas rolled down the track until he was out of the forest. He was so scared he didn't see the red signal ahead. He shot through the station towards an old junction with an old track blocked off with a barrier. Thomas crashed through the barrier and opened his eyes. Where am I?" he said. Thomas crashed through shrubs, trees and bushes and over an old bridge. Past a ruined signal box towards a hill. "Help!" whistled Thomas, but no one heard. Thomas prepared for the worst. He shut his eyes and puffed through and out of the bushes. Thomas came to a stop outside a village. The tracks on it looked old, rusty and worn. The station had broken glass and bricks. "Where am I?" asked Thomas. "This looks familiar." "Ulfstead Village," said a voice. An old woman stood by the track. She had seen everything. "It's surprising to see a train on our line after so many years," she said. The old woman told Thomas the village was still living, but the train line was closed. "I remember this village," he huffed. "Me, Toby, Percy, Terence and Harold saved villagers from a snowdrift. And you threw us a Christmas party to say thank you." "Yes," said the old woman, "but rarely any more people are coming to the village ever since our train line was shut down." "The Fat Controller needs a new place for holidaymakers," thought Thomas. "We could reopen the line." The old woman thought it was a splendid idea and went to spread the news. Thomas puffed back onto the main line and ran home feeling pleased with himself. Next morning, Thomas told his story to the other engines. And then he told the Fat Controller down at Knapford. "What a good idea, Thomas! We will be as busy as bees. Let's get started." The engines were soon hard at work. Toby and Percy took workmen to clear the tracks. Thomas and Henry took timber from the forest to make railway sleepers. And James and Edward went to collect billboards and posters from the paint shop. 3 days had passed. The line was almost ready. Thomas was beaming his buffers with excitement as he collected the last truck of timber for the sleepers. He was so overexcited he forgot to be careful. "Steady, Thomas," said his driver. But it was too late. Thomas went round the bend too fast. His wheels lifted off the track. He separated himself from the trucks and he tumbled down into a river. "Help!" called Thomas, but no one could hear him. Thomas was soon stopped by a bridge support. Luckily, he couldn't move, but he could only wait and hope. At the village, the Fat Controller looked at his watch. "Thomas is 5 minutes late," he said. Thomas's driver, who had jumped clear, ran down the hill towards the village. "Thomas has come off the track near the river, and now he's gone down it, and I don't know where he could be." "This is serious," said the Fat Controller. "Bertie, please go and look for him." Bertie drove up and down the hills and looked everywhere. Thomas heard Bertie's engine revving. "Help! Bertie! Down here!" he called. And it wasn't long until Bertie finally found Thomas. "Are you okay, Thomas?" he called. "Just about," called Thomas. Thomas was repaired in time for the opening of the new line. The Fat Controller stood up and spoke. "A long time ago," he said, "Thomas, Percy, Toby, Terence and Harold, the helicopter, had saved this village from a very bad snowfall. Years later, the line closed. However, thanks to Thomas, our really useful engine, we've been able to reopen the line. Many thanks are going to Thomas and all his friends for helping us." Everyone cheered, and Thomas beamed from buffer to buffer. He couldn't have felt happier to be a really useful engine.